Good evening. My name is Jerome. I am the Sane Realist. Let's talk about fentanyl for a minute. Fentanyl is the drug that they use to put you out for surgery. It is the drug that they go, okay, I'm going to give you a little something that's going to relax. Next thing you know, you're waking up. That's fentanyl. It is manufactured from precursor products, which are created in China primarily. It is has been developed, honestly, as a chemical weapon. There is another fentanyl product called core fentanyl. Fentanyl, I think, is like hundreds of times stronger than opium, and core fentanyl is 10,000 times stronger than opium. One microscopic speck of core fentanyl on you is enough pretty much to kill your average person, if not debilitate them and make them very ill. Again, I'm sorry for all this. I'm working in a warehouse, trying to get used to dust, dander, other people's dander, because I'm working with other people's donated items. So at any rate,
How you doing?
good. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
So basically, those products are shipped to Mexico primarily, those precursors, and they're put together in Mexico and shipped across the border to the United States, usually on the back of some migrant person. And then once they get here, they press them into little pills and add some blue dye, and they sell them. Last fall, from my direct research, talking to people who actually are addicted to this stuff, the cost of a single fentanyl tablet, which would be enough to kill me. Your typical fentanyl addict needs 4 or 5 a day, if not more, for some of the really hardcore people. But the cost of one was $5 to $7, depending on the dealer. And I noticed in the last week or so that the number of people sitting around bus stops, strung out every corner in the busier places in town, are just, you can see it in them. They're strung out. They're looking for a buck here or there. And I thought, what the heck happened? How many more people are there? There's like double the number of people. And so I actually talked to one of them, and after giving the person $1 and 2 cigarettes, they were willing to talk to me. And apparently now, since about last month sometime, the cost of a fentanyl tablet has dropped from $5 to $7 to $2 to $3. Aha. All of a sudden, it's affordable. Affordable. Yeah. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? So it's easier. That was just basically a smoothing out of that wide road a little more. And so right now, I don't know if it's the recent surge at the border or what, but all of a sudden there's a huge glut of fentanyl on the market, and these dealers are just having to give it away for $1 or $2, $3. They're probably selling it to other people for $1 a pill, who are in turn selling it to other people for $2 to $3. Some of the people who aren't just destroyed by it, after using this stuff for longer than like 6 months, you pretty much are just enslaved by it. You don't think about anything else but how to get that next pill. You're not thinking about anything else. I've seen these poor people, man, their faces, because they're always down in a piece of aluminum foil with smoke coming over their face, inhaling this plastic-laced fentanyl, it causes their face to get discolored and blackened and broken out, and it's a terrible effect. They get super skinny because they don't eat. They don't have a desire to eat. They don't have a desire to do anything but smoke fentanyl. Whew. And there's nothing you can do to help them. You know, pardon me. That's terrible. It's like I think I need to drink more water. But I mean, these people, no matter what you do, they're just basically using that to chase after this dragon. And it's ironic they're inhaling the smoke. You know, chasing the dragon. Think about it. The devil's candy, pretty little blue pills. You know, you can see them when in between times walking down the street and their eyes are just scanning, I guess hoping to find a pill. But way worse than crack, way worse than meth. It's unimaginably horrible. And it's affecting primarily people between 20 and 30 years old. You know, there's not a bunch of seniors my age getting strung out on fentanyl. You know, and the younger, you know, the cheaper it gets, the younger they'll fall to it. So, what to do? Criminalize it. I've been keep thinking, how can you fix this? Is it possible to fix this and still have freedom? How do you do that? And I guess the way I weighed it is, it's the freedom of the people to have a decent, safe environment to raise their children in, to have their families in. And so that's why they criminalize drugs, because certain drugs actually disrupt and destroy, disintegrate society through their deleterious effects. So, what can you do? You can criminalize the drug. You know, Donald Trump, he's going a little far, saying a death penalty for anybody caught selling this stuff, but boy, that would cut the supply right now. It would cut the supply to zero. There'd be a whole bunch of sick people checking into the hospitals trying to get some kind of opiates. The rate of heroin usage would increase, but heroin's different. It's different. Once you get addicted to this stuff, to fentanyl, it's like there's no turning back. My son-in-law was addicted to heroin and now is addicted to fentanyl. And I saw him the other day and I said, "Are you still doing fentanyl?" And he said, "Yeah." He was actually honest about it. He's like, "Yeah." Okay. And he looked at me and he said, "You know, I almost wish that I was doing black. That would be better." And I'm like, "Black?" And he's like, "Heroin." I'm like, "Oh, that would be easier." But okay, and the hunch of the shoulders and see you later, man. I gotta go chase the dragon. Just about every family is in one way or another affected by this stuff. It is really effectively a way to undermine the integrity of our society. Think about it. I don't know where you live, but if you live in any large city in the United States, you see the people. You see them everywhere on street corners, hunched over, under blankets or under jackets, because that's the only thing you can do to stop the wind from blowing the smoke away, the vapor, whatever the hell you want to call it. You see them nodding out. You see them sleeping in odd places, just stretched out across a shopping cart. You know, how that makes any sense, or how people are able to sleep that way, whatever. You know, in their little makeshift tents, you know, and all these homeless encampments, okay. That is all driven by fentanyl, every bit of it. You know, yeah, people are cold, they're homeless, they're desperate, they're mentally ill. But if you just throw them a little fentanyl, then they become a monster. Then the devil has them. Then their soul's gone. I don't know how else to put it. It's the saddest thing ever to me. And, you know, I feel a helpless kind of wishful thing that I could help these people, but I know I can't. I've tried to help them. I've tried to feed them, and they just don't even, they don't care. They're not even there. They're not there. You're feeding the empty shell. That's what you're feeding. And is there hope? Is there hope they'll some come around? No, really no. The only thing you could do is just remove all the supply from the street. You know, and they'd all get really sick. Some of them would die. But some souls would be saved. And some people would appreciate, wow, that was really bad. I'm glad that I managed to break free of that. You know, some of them will undoubtedly get addicted to heroin instead of that, but that's a different thing. Heroin is a really controlled substance, so just like fentanyl is. So, you know, heroin is, you'd almost think fentanyl's like a form of heroin, but it isn't. It's synthetic. It's not an opiate. It's a synthetic thing. And it makes it much more scary. And years ago, I could not imagine anybody getting addicted to that stuff. Like, it was just too, there's nothing in between wide awake and bleh. It's just like, bleh. You lose track of consciousness and everything until you kind of come out of it, and you feel really sick for a while, and then you feel better. You know, I guess maybe the trick is to, maybe you hate yourself so much that you just want to die, but you can't die, so you can just fall into the oblivion of pseudo-death. Boy, there's so many different thought processes to be had there. Fentanyl is the devil's candy. Please comment, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. My name is Jerome. I am the Sane Realist.